Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football. I hope all of you are doing well as we get into, oh boy, an anticipated game here. It's Fluminense versus Chelsea. The preview is finally here. We are going to be here tomorrow for the watch along. We're 24 hours away, actually less. We're 21 and a half hours away technically. So make sure you guys are here for it. We will be live watching the semi-final together, and after that the review will be uploaded. If there's any news in the day tomorrow, you'll be getting a video on that early on as well. And go and check out video number 1 from earlier on if you didn't catch it already. We went through quite a lot, including Tottenham being ridiculous. Go over there and have a look if you haven't seen it already. Much appreciated. Now I'm going to get to the news. There is a bit of news at the end. Let's start off with the preview. And the preview is obviously based on tomorrow's match, but that's all kind of evolved and surrounded around one guy. And that's none other than El Monstro himself. The legend of a club that didn't actually stay too long, but is considered a legend. In his own right, I would say, because it was completely deserved, right? You could say an honorary legend, if you want. Mr. Thiago Silva. Get a load of this. Thiago, eh? We meet again. It's a pleasure. It's been a little while. We miss you. And I hope you miss us too. But Thiago Silva, who's 40 years old, who's been killing it in this competition. Fluminense have been pretty unreal when you're considering what they've actually done. Much more impressive than what Palmeiras have done up until when we knocked them out. And they're no joke. Fluminense are no joke. In fact, they have been completely unbeaten in this tournament, and they have played against some proper opposition. Proper. They drew against Borussia Dortmund on match day 1. We remember that. Then they beat Ulsan Hyundai 4-2. 4-2, it's all right result. They drew against Mamelodi Sundowns 0-0. But they basically had the group pretty much under control as long as they got that result. Then they knocked out Inter Milan. Yes, the Champions League finalists, Inter Milan. And then they knocked out Al Hilal, who knocked out Man City. Fluminense are no jokes. They're no jokes. And despite that, they've got a very senior squad. When you're looking, I think their average age is it 30? I'm not even kidding. Their average age is actually quite senior. I know they've got a 44-year-old in goal. I mean, on paper, yeah, you look on paper and you go, this is going to be the easiest game of our lives, lads. This is going to be a piece of cake. But competitions like this don't work on paper. You've got to give a certain level of respect. I think in terms of the way that Fluminense play, this is going to be a bit more of a difficult game. They're a bit more aggressive. They're a bit more in your face. They're similar to Flamengo, I would say, except Flamengo look a bit too chaotic. It looks like so many things are happening at once. It's just chaos. It doesn't, sorry, apologies. It doesn't look like Flamengo play with like, I don't want to say they don't play with a system. Of course they play with a system. But it's just very physical. It seems like everyone's just going everywhere and everyone's in your face, and it's just chaos. Fluminense do play with a level of calm, but at the same time, when they're off the ball, there's a lot of pressure and there's a lot of urgency and there's a lot of leadership. Need I say more? This guy has been electric this tournament. And there was one video doing the rounds. I actually forgot. I don't know if it was with Fluminense or if he was elsewhere. I think it was with Fluminense. And he was talking about, was it his dad? Someone that passed away. But the whole thing about, again, similarly to what I think a lot of people learned from the Diogo Jota death, about not wasting time. And even in a moment of doubt or in a moment of, that can wait. His example was, I had that and I wasn't there at that moment when that person passed away. I swear, I don't know if it was his dad. There was someone that was ill or someone that got admitted into hospital. He was there. He saw him, and then he went about his business. Thiago left and went about his business, and then he got the phone call that he's gone. And that ate him up a bit, because it's like, I should have been there then, but you got to maximize your time. Time is a thing where no one knows what's going to happen. So his message to his teammates was, if you are in any sort of doubt or any sort of like, oh, you know, I'm not 100%. Now, basically, similarly to in Rocky, if you remember, there is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. Forget it. It's now. You have a chance to go and get it now. You go and get it now. It's now. It's now. We're doing it now. Now's the time. Go and get it. Let's go. And that was his but he said it in a way. He said that message in a way that was like goosebumps. It was goosebumps, brother. I mean, after I heard that, I was ready to run through a wall. I was like, yeah, Thiago, listen, if I'm in that dressing room, let's flip and go to war. You know? Unbelievable. What a leader. But we're playing against him tomorrow. And it's going to be quite an interesting saga. It's such a shame Liam Delap is not here, because I would want to see that physical battle between Liam Delap and Thiago Silva. That is something I would be interested in. But it raises the question, who's playing tomorrow? Who's playing? Well, I don't think there's anyone else in this Fluminense team that I really know. When I say no, obviously I'm like, oh yeah, that guy. No, there really isn't. There really isn't. Just a bunch of Brazilians. Good, talented Brazilians. That's basically it. With Chelsea, we know that Liam Delap is suspended. Levi Colwell is also suspended because of this stupid yellow card rule. Anyway, they won't be there. So we have to compensate and look at our options. But the good news is that everyone else is back. Except one guy. Romeo Lavia is still not fit. And he's training individually. He's not with a group. So, I don't know. Now, I don't know. We'll see what happens by pre-season. So by the time we get to pre-season, that's going to be the end of August. We'll play... No, not the end of August. Sorry, flipping now. It's around the corner. What am I saying? First week of August, I think. Somewhere there. We play Bayer Leverkusen and we play AC Milan. Oh, AC Milan. Oh, we play AC Milan. Oh, I just remembered. Oh, my goodness. AC Milan. Oh, well, this is going to work out, isn't it? Oh, man. Can we just stick Mike Maignan in a box and just kidnap him or something? Don't. But you get the gist. Can we do something? AC Milan. Will we have a chance to be with them in person? Okay. Anyway, by the time we get to that, maybe we'll have more clarity on Lavia and his fitness. But for now, I think it's a write-off. I don't think we're going to see him again for the rest of this tournament. Apart from that, everyone is back. Reece James is back. He trained fully. He's okay. He put a post up on Instagram to say, don't worry, everyone. I'll be there on Tuesday. See you then. Great. Fantastic. Cheers for the heads up, Reece. Much appreciated. And yeah, everyone else seems available. Caicedo's back from his suspension. Fantastic. And everyone's available apart from the names that I've mentioned. So, bearing this in mind, like I said, this is going to be a little bit more of an aggressive game, but I don't think Chelsea need to change too much. I liked, again, you see that first half that we had against Palmeiras? That was really good. Just like it was against Benfica. We are playing in a way at the moment. There's two things I want to say about the way that we're playing that I do think are actually really good. Firstly is we are offering ourselves a little bit more balance with the shape that we're using at the moment. We're not so obsessed with just inversion and just, pack the midfield, let everything stem from the midfield. We're a lot more balanced in terms of defending and attacking. The defensive ability and the offensive abilities right now are quite balanced in terms of the way that we move. From flank to flank as well, from the left side and the right side, there is nice balance. We got certain players that are really coming into form. Right? People praise, for example, Caicedo, obviously, in the way that he's playing. There'll be some players such as, a Levi Colwell in terms of how he's starting to change. Or Pedro Neto is another one that I think people have a lot of praise for. I've got a lot of praise for one player in particular. And I understand Pedro Neto is someone that actually deserves that. But I've got someone else in mind. And that's Enzo Fernandez. I think he's really coming into his own now. Enzo he's not making any mistakes now. He's playing a little bit more offensively, a little bit more forward, and he's in his element. And I love it. I love it. So for tomorrow, I think we're going to have a very, very good hold of that midfield of Caicedo and Enzo. The balance is something that I want us to keep. Now, the second thing that I wanted to mention, and this is what I think is the strategy, especially with the acquisition of João Pedro. And Maresca alluded to this in the press conference, if you are paying attention, when he compared João Pedro and Nicholas Jackson, saying that Nicholas Jackson for him is just a number 9. And that's all he can do. So even for all of us that think maybe he can play on the flank, for Maresca, it's not happening. He's only a 9. But he said for João Pedro, we can play him out wide, we can play him deeper, he can play in the 10, he can play as a 9. He's very versatile and flexible and can play basically anywhere across the front line. And that is what I think Chelsea, and maybe even Maresca here, are specifically looking for with all the players that we've brought in. The players that we now have at our disposal, when you're looking at Cole Palmer, is flexible. Esteval is flexible. Pedro Neto, in terms of the size, is flexible. João Pedro is flexible. Gittins is the one that seems like he's just a left winger, and Liam Delap, it seems like the guy, you're just a number 9. And obviously Nico as well. But everyone else that I mentioned, and apparently the one more attacker that we do want to bring in, which has already been briefed, so we're not running away from that one, is meant to be versatile too. It seems like we are beginning to adopt a way of playing where during the game we can shift from system to system to system. These players can literally move freely from one position to the next. And all interchange among themselves. And I think if it's done right, it's very hard to keep up with that sort of thing. And there's not many teams that have sort of done that in the past. There's teams that do that twice during a game. So there's teams that have a certain system to play with, and then during a game they will interchange into one other way. But to interchange into one way, and then 2 ways, and then possibly even 3 ways during a game and master it, is very difficult. But I've got a feeling that Chelsea are heading in that direction, and that's what they want to try and do. That's my theory. That's just based on what I'm seeing and what I can feel. So we'll see. But the balance that we're beginning to see is pretty good, and I hope we can keep that up. But tomorrow we should have enough control on this game. Hopefully we have enough in the tank as well physically, because I know it's been difficult. But same for Fluminense. Maresca got corrected in the press conference as well, because he used the point that Chelsea have played 63 games this entire campaign now, including this, so it's difficult. There was a journalist that went, Fluminense have played 70 in the same period. And he didn't say anything. He looked and just went, okay. Crap. I should have stayed, I should have kept my mouth shut. But I went and checked and I verified it. And it's true, they have. They had a break in the Christmas period for 3 or 4 weeks. But last summer, they were playing league games. So their season is different. They're not aligned on the same date. So they've been at it as well. They've not stopped. So... And we had Conference League. So I just want to make that clear. But some would argue that Fluminense had Brazilian teams, not flipping, Liverpool and Man City and Arsenal to play. But anyway, each to their own. So, in terms of starting 11, I think it's going to be Sanchez in goal. Has to be. Cucurella left back. Reece James right back. Colwell is not playing, so we're going to see Badiashile. Let me just get that out of the way now. It's going to be Badiashile, and I think it's going to be maybe Tosin or Chalobah, but one of them. Tosin or Chalobah, but I think maybe it'll be Tosin. In midfield, Caicedo, Enzo. Just ahead of them. Crap. Oh man, what do we do? You know what? I wouldn't be against having Caicedo and Santos and Enzo just ahead of them. Full on South American midfield. Full on. Stick Enzo in just ahead, as he was playing against Benfica, looked really good. Pedro Neto on the right, Cole Palmer on that left-hand side that we saw as well, and he was looking comfortable there. And then João Pedro up top. And Maresca did allude in a way that João Pedro could be the one starting tomorrow, but there's no confirmation. We'll wait and see if he is going to start. But it's against a Brazilian team. I think he would be set for that, so I would do it. But personally, that's what I would do. That front line is what I would do. What I think is going to happen is Caicedo, Enzo, Santos doesn't start, Palmer in the 10, Madueke and Neto maybe. I'm not sure about Madueke though, because there's the whole thing about him leaving, and I don't know. I think Maresca does actually take that seriously. I don't think he'll want to start Madueke. So we're limited on the wings. Gittins can't play. Unless we stuck João Pedro on the left and decided to play Nico Jackson up front. That could be an option that Maresca might turn to, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think João Pedro is going to be playing up front. So I reckon it's going to be tough. I don't know. But I told you what I want. I would go with Palmer on that left-hand side, or even Neto on the left, Palmer on the... No, but I reckon Palmer on that left was actually looking good. I would play him there. Neto on the right, Enzo just in the middle, Caicedo and Santos in the double pivot, and João Pedro up top. I think that's something we can go with. Let me know what you would go with. Much appreciated. My score prediction before I get to the news, and I'll show you what's happened, is I am going to go... Two 2-0. Fluminense 0, Chelsea 2. Sorry, Thiago. You've got a coaching role at Chelsea if you want it. Just saying. Anyway, that's my prediction. Let me know yours in the comment section below. Let's move to the news. Talking about Thiago Silva, actually, what is it that he said? Well, on reuniting with Chelsea, he's decided to say something very interesting. So let's address this. Here it is. He has said, "I'm looking to help the coaching staff with some interesting details, stuff that will stay between us." Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Okay, this is where we got to play players that he's not played with. Shift it up, guys, shift it up. Man, if Liam Delap was here, stick João Pedro and Liam Delap up front. He wouldn't know what to do. Yeah, he's never played with him. Don't play Nico Jackson, that's for sure. Basically. Because Thiago Silva knows him. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I think the Chelsea that Thiago Silva was involved in isn't quite the same that we have now, especially under Maresca. He'll know some of the players, obviously, and what they're capable of, but we have entered an era now that is so much more system-based compared to individually based. We haven't got teams just relying on players now. We've got players basically relying on systems. And players that can adapt and are versatile to different ways of playing are the ones that are going to be selected in order to be part of a certain system. And I think with what Chelsea have done under Maresca is something that Thiago Silva obviously he's not been a part of. And I feel like, yes, he'll know some of the players individually and that might help. But at the end of the day, the levels are the levels. And I'm hoping we are too much for Fluminense on the night. So fingers crossed, fingers crossed. That's that. But it'll be good to see Thiago tomorrow. Looking forward to it. It'll be very, very nice to see him. So hopefully all goes well. Watch along tomorrow. Make sure you're here. Now, because of the news, let's get into the latest on Madueke. Chelsea are expecting offers of more than £50 million for Noni Madueke, says the Telegraph. 100%. I would go one step further. I would go one step further and tell you guys that this is the reason why he needs to go for more. Anthony Elanga set to do medical inside 48 hours and signed 5-year deal after Newcastle signed agreement with Nottingham Forest for 23-year-old. Winger moving to Newcastle from Nottingham Forest. £52 million plus bonuses. Joins teammates by the end of the week. So Elanga has, and that's after Fabrizio by the way, has joined Newcastle and will do for what is Fabrizio said about 55 mil. If he's going to for 55 mil, then Arsenal, get on the blower. 55 million, please. Mate, Elanga's gone from Forest to Newcastle for 52 million and add-ons, right? Well, I'm sorry, 55 from Madueke then. Because one, they should be similar values. And two, you're Arsenal. We're not dealing with Forest. with all due respect. They finished in a good position. But you're Arsenal, so there's a premium. Listen, 55 million. Hand it over. Just saying. So that's that. Let me know your thoughts. More news about a Chelsea defender. See, this is where the outgoings begin and where we start generating money that people get triggered about. Ongoing negotiations between Villarreal and Axel Disasi. Chelsea ask for £25 million. Interesting. 25 mil. That would be nice. I'll be honest, that would be nice. For Disasi, how much did we buy Disasi for? I actually forgot. How much did we buy? It's left my mind. But anyway, that would be a nice fee. And there's other players that we know are going to be leaving. This is why I said, if you remember, with all the outgoings, I reckon we can get to 170, 180 million. Easily. We should. With all the outgoings, piece of cake. I would say we should get 200. If we don't, that's a bit embarrassing. But we'll see how it all goes down. But Disasi being targeted, let's start the talks. Much appreciated. Now, talking about talks, let's go to AC Milan, eh? AC Milan tried to do something. Now, this is something you've not heard about. I know you haven't heard about. And big up to my good mate Ashraf, who told me about this, because he understands French media like I understand French media, parce que on parle bien français. Alors, we get to see exactly what goes down, so we know what's happening. He shared it, and I read it. I went, this is interesting. AC Milan, what have you lot been up to? Huh? What have you been doing? What have you been doing? Yeah, guess what's happened? What's happened to you is what happened to us when we came for Mike Mignolet, wasn't it? Yeah, because you held out for a certain fee. Well, karma, isn't it? Here it is. Okay, let me get this translated. Firstly, so you lot understand. But there it is. AC Milan made a €15 million offer for Gayla Doué. The offer will be rejected by Strasbourg. Max Allegri highly rates the Ivorian. It's not nice, is it? No. It doesn't feel good, does it? No. Now you know how we felt. If you're trying to deal with Blue Coat, clearly, because you went to Strasbourg, then how about this? This is where Chelsea should actually try and be a little bit smart here and, try and leverage. Now, I'll be honest, is this a really good player, Doué? I actually don't know. The Strasbourg Doué, I genuinely don't know. I've not seen him play properly. I don't know. I might have to go and do some digging. But if there's a €15 million offer that's been rejected, how about, yeah, we pay you, how ironic would this be? We pay you somewhere between 3 and 5 million, and we give you this player, and you give us Mike Mignolet. How's that? Just saying, that could be a good deal, no? Just thought I'd suggest it. But let me know your thoughts on that. AC Milan got AC Milan by Strasbourg. So there we are. Let's see what happens there. They tried to lowball, and yeah. It's hit them back just like they tried to hit us, which, to be fair, in fairness, we tried to haggle over 3 million, but they tried to haggle over the same sort of thing. So there you go. Anyway, to wrap up, Victor Osimhen, there's been news, so check this out. More on Victor Osimhen and Galatasaray's story from earlier today. Personal terms are agreed until June 2028. Victor said yes to Galatasaray again. It now depends on Galatasaray and Napoli to get the deal done after initial €55 million bid, after Al Hilal offered to pay the €75 million clause. Now, there was news from Turkey that deal had been agreed between Galatasaray and Napoli for around 60 million. But there was another rumour that had popped up that said apparently it's not been done just yet. All those things are agreed. I'll show you the Turkish report because it's here. Here it is. So this is coming from this Turkish journalist who said that, yeah, there's been an offer, an agreement. Having reached an agreement with Victor Osimhen, made another official offer proposing 60 million euros. Sorry. So an improved offer at that of what was rejected, it seems. He's going to be going to Galatasaray. It's actually mad. I can't believe I'm about to say this. We are entering a moment in the window now where Oh, I've just had news. I've just had news. Okay, you're getting this in real time, guys. You are getting this in real time. Oh, there's two other bits of news. All right, we're going to talk about this. But Osimhen and Gyökeres might actually be sorted. And we're what? We've just entered July. I didn't see that one coming, I'll be honest. But there we are. Osimhen, Turkey, and Gyökeres, Arsenal. Crazy. Let me show you these last two bits of news. These are actually considerable bits of information. So, latest on Madueke, we've got an update. Sources have told me that Chelsea and Arsenal are discussing a figure around the £40 million mark for Madueke. Am I an idiot? After what I just said earlier on in the video, am I a mug? Nah. 55 mil, please. Yeah, Elanga just got sold. 55, please. End of story. Yeah, Chelsea, what are you doing? What are you doing? Well, for once, you don't actually want to sell someone. I'm all right with it, and you're lowballing it. What are you doing? I thought you don't want to try and make money. I'm here with you for this one. Let's make money. 55. What are you doing? Anyway, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Let's see what happens. Let's see what goes down. But there's been another update on a certain player, and I think this deserves a mention considering how well he's played in the Club World Cup, even though he's been eliminated now. But check this out, and we'll wrap up the video. So, Inter and AS Roma have both reached out to Palmeiras for Richard Rios in the recent days as midfield target. Request from Brazilian club, €30 million fee. That is a bargain. For a player like Rios, who played really, really well, that is a bargain. And, I mean, United were linked with him at one point, weren't they? Don't tell them. But they've got bigger fish to fry, it seems. They've got bigger things going on. I mean, they just rejected an Amazon documentary request and all of that. So they've got problems. Let them deal with their problems. Don't tell them about this because this is a decent player. serious as hell. But Richard Rios, probably on his way to Italy, and he deserves the move. If he finds that move, he deserves it. Quality midfielder. So let's wait and see what happens there. Let me know your thoughts down below. Much appreciated. Subscribe, notification bell on, and I'll see you tomorrow, either for a news video or we go straight to the watch long, and I'll see you there. Have a good one. Look after yourselves. Take care, people. And peace.